Alright, so I've noticed that I don't review every movie I watch. I've been watching movies on and off continually, all the time. That's all I do. And I only post the ones that I really like, or the ones that are really interesting. I never post any of the ones that are super shitty. Truth be told, I hardly watch any shitty movies. I can pretty much gauge what's going to be terrible from trailers, hype, follow movies all the time, and I don't watch shitty movies. I mean, all the ones that are terrible I stay away from because it's a waste of time. But I just finished watching The Drop, which stars Noomi Rapace, Tom Hardy, and James Gandolfini. And this is James Gandolfini's last movie. It's not a superb film. It's not a terrible film. It's a pretty good medium, which is rare, I know. But I wanted to talk about this movie just for a little bit because of Tom Hardy. Usually he is getting typecasted, just like Jason Statham was, and there's a few other people, like The Rock. But Tom Hardy is being typecasted as a badass. Anything that he plays in, he's usually a thug, a badass warrior type deal, military or otherwise, and it's good. He fits that that archetype really well. But it's just like Jason Statham being a hitman. How many times can he actually pull that off and it be believable? But this movie, actually really neat. If you like Bostonian accents and crime movies that don't have a lot of crime in them, there's mafia movies and crime movies that just have a little dash of the crime families and everything like that. This is one of those movies. There's an underlying tone of organized crime, but they don't have to give you everything like all the other movies do that just force feed you everything. You don't need to see the mob boss. You don't need to see all these other things that happen behind the curtain and the shadows. It's pretty straightforward. But the movie, I think, just like Locke, is a character vehicle for Tom Hardy. All throughout this movie, you see him as a very underdog, slow-minded kind of individual. The way he talks and pauses and acts, he's not really normal, which works for the movie. The movie's pretty slow-paced. There's not a lot going on. It's mainly about these four people. You got Tom Hardy, James Gandolfini, the guy who plays a character called Eric Deeds, and the mafia people. There's a weird cop that's in this movie, and his dialogue is just all over the place. He uses two different conversations at the same time with the same person to confuse them, and I haven't seen that a lot in movies. I've seen it in TV shows sometimes, but it's hard to act that way because it's like a lie detector. They'll ask you base questions, and then they'll ask you off-the-wall questions, and it's really odd. Makes the dialogue with him in it very uncomfortable. But Tom Hardy is really good in this movie. He steals it. He is the underdog of the movie, and at the end of it, you kind of get a feel of how he is. But I like movies that don't give you background. You don't have to know everything about these people's lives. You just have to know why you're watching 2 hours of their life. What has happened in the last week or so, or however long the period of time that the movie takes place in. Why is that so important? And this does that really well. There's a little bit of exposition and stuff, but it's fine. James Gandolfini is pretty shitty in this movie. I mean, he's not a awesome actor, but he's had roles that are memorable. This one, not really. It sucks of the character that he has, but it's not really that memorable. And Noomi Rapace, why on earth you casted that person for that role? You could have picked millions of other women to fill this. There's nothing there. What I'm trying to say is Noomi Rapace is a fantastic actress, and she's getting to be a big name. And when she gets these roles in movies like Dead Man Down with Colin Farrell, there's nothing there. She doesn't have anything to work with, and this role was just wasted on her. You could have picked anybody else. Noomi Rapace is a fantastic actress and a pretty good thing to look at. So good on them, but could have been anybody. But that's my review of The Drop. It's a pretty good crime movie, and ironically enough, I'm recording this on Saturday, the day before Super Bowl Sunday, and a really important part of the plot happens on the Super Bowl night, which is kind of cool, and I didn't even know that because I kind of watched this movie in the blind. I didn't really follow it when it was being made and didn't really care about it too much, but I was bored and wanted something to watch. So, rating, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Only because of the rewatchability. I wouldn't watch this twice. Blah. I wouldn't watch it twice. There's not much there. There's no comedy, no sarcasm. One-time watch is satisfying enough. So, 3 out of 5. Thanks, guys.